Today we have Guy Gross with us from Mash Machine from London in the United Kingdom. Tell us more about what Mash Machine is.
So Mash Machine is a new way for brands and content owners to engage with people. And what we do is we turn the idea on its head that instead of going out and analyzing your audiences and looking at preferences and demographics and then creating linear marketing messages to those clusters, we turn it around and we say, well, actually, doing that, you're ignoring 60% of the market altogether, where there's people who are relevant that may have interest. You're targeting people where probably half those clusters don't care, and the other half have levels of engagement that vary so significantly you never really know who or how to build a relationship with them. And we turn that around and say, well, instead of taking that approach, create a universe in which you keep all of the elements that represent your brand. So you can curate it up front and say, these are the bits of music, these are the logos and imagery and the products that we have, and then invite people to come in and play. And I mean by that creating gamified experiences, whether it's offline or online. So you can customize your relationship with that brand and therefore with each consumer as a brand. Mm-hmm. And they walk away with something that you can build a relationship with and understand them quite deeply.
So when did you start this company?
We started 8 months ago in London. It's actually 3 other co-founders based across Europe. And they came to the UK. I saw this product, and I'm someone who's got quite a strong background in entrepreneurship and working inside large organizations. And as soon as I saw this product, I immediately just thought, this is where I'm going. This is a real game changer.
So you say you have a strong background in entrepreneurship.
Yep. I've started a couple of my own companies where I ran a live music events company where I took the world's best session musicians, I put them on stage with upcoming talent, and then I hosted every couple of weeks completely unannounced superstars. So we'd take 300 people. We had a venue called the 10 Rooms in London, and we hosted artists like Prince and Kanye West, Will Smith, Jill Scott, and we developed talent as well because we were where the industry was. We had people like Jessie J, Amy Winehouse, Joss Stone, all who came through us and were discovered at our night because all the labels were there. And they would perform for 3 months consistently as upcoming talent and go through.
So compare for me the entrepreneurial music business versus the entrepreneurial mass customization business. You know, what's kind of the different traits that you've used in those two businesses? Or indeed, isn't there any?
I think with any business, what I've learned is that there are really 3 key ingredients, and that's what I focus on. You firstly have to have a real deep understanding of what your business actually is rather than what you think it is and where you want to drive it. You have to understand how it fits in the ecosystem of commerce. Mm-hmm. And often that comes from people outside coming in and telling you rather than you trying to push what you think is right. I mean, if you push what you think is right, you can hit barriers left, right, and center. And what I find is that when the doors open, it's like running down a corridor, knocking on every door, and waiting for the doors to open and finding the right one. So taking that approach, you can come very quickly to what your product is and develop your pitch accordingly. And the second 2 things are around money. The first is around finding funding, and the second is around finding customers. And if you can understand your business and then go into investors and go into customers, you have something that can win. So that's really been my approach with anything I've done. And also, I tend to try and make pound one, day one. So it doesn't matter whether it's an idea that needs £5 million worth of investment. You need to be doing. And the only thing that makes you different from an idea to a business is making £1 doing what you do. Even if it's at a loss or it's done with glue and sticky back plastic to create something that just demonstrates what you do.
Customer tells you it's got value enough that they'll give you money.
Exactly the point.
Right.
Yeah.
So you've bootstrapped this company so far.
We have. We started from 8 months ago literally with a minimum viable product, which was a glass table with some cigarette packs on it that moved and made music. And that was what I saw. And I just immediately got this vision of people in their homes really enjoying this engagement. And it's very hard to describe without playing it. So the first step for me has always been get through the door and get it in front of people, get them playing, and then they buy it. Right. It's very difficult. You know, it's almost, I see it almost like when Henry Ford's quote of, if I'd have asked people what they wanted when I developed the mass customization of cars, they'd have just said a faster horse. Right. So if you put a car in front of someone and they sit in it, suddenly they can buy it and then they get the vision of where you can go. It's exactly the same with what we have, because we have a hardware demonstration of what we can do, when in fact, really, we're a software and content business. Right. So we started with this idea and understanding that we have hardware people get and software and content people don't. So we've got it in front of people, and then they bought the vision, and now we've got £150,000 turnover. It's about $230,000 from a cold start.
And how long?
8 months.
8 months.
So we started on day one making one sale of 20,000 euros in one country. Then to another country, we sold a box for 5,000. And then we went to another industry just to try it and see if it would fit, and we made a sale. And then we created our first consumer product so that people bought it for their home, and we sold 3 in a day. And we decided, actually, if we drip feed this in the market, we could be in trouble, because we need to get the IP protected, which we can't afford to do yet. And we need to find the way of distributing into these markets really quickly before we get competitors who potentially could do it quicker than us and worse than us without the vision of where we want to go. And in that way, we've been quite self-contained, and we've kind of stopped pushing what we're doing so that the mass market don't really get a vision of where we go, and focused more on raising funding.
Although I do understand you've been very successful in bootstrapping using customer funding, and someone tells me you're about to get a very large $400,000 to $600,000 pound and dollar contract shortly.
And in fact, that's not just one. There are several on the horizon on the back of one campaign we did in the automotive industry. So we had a client who came and we painted a picture of the opportunity and how it was consistent, both in terms of an app that could line up with an offline experience, with a consumer customization tool online, together with how the website was driven. And the whole thing gelled, and they got it, which was really the key. So we worked with Maxus, which is one of WPP's agencies. I met them at one of their big events. We showed off the Mash Machine. They took us to this car brand. And we went through and delivered this experience, which was just launched at the Geneva Car Show with Fiat. It was so successful on the first day. They had originally brought us in for 2 days, and it grew to now being extended by 10 days. And then they decided on the back of that they want to look at all the other possibilities we'd discussed. Right. But they just wanted to take a low-risk example of what we do, which was great because we made some cash, and it meant we could invest in painting that vision through small videos and through really getting them to buy in, painting that picture so that it was real rather than just this abstract concept of customization.
That's great. So one would presume you're talking about IT, you're talking about content, you're talking about gamification. Yeah. It would lead me to kind of think that you're a software geek, but I don't think you are. What's your background?
My background is I'm a medical doctor. I have an MBA from London Business School. I have helped a lot of startups and accelerators and incubators grow inside large organizations, mainly in healthcare. I've worked in many FTSE and S&P 500 companies at C-suite level, helping them turn opportunity into real money. And so that's really been where I've focused. And my entrepreneurship has been a sideline until really I realized how much money I was making them, and maybe I should get out and make some for myself now. So I've got the confidence to head out and do that.
When you're not doing all this, what do you do for fun?
I'm a used-to-be man now, and I'm trying to get away from what I used to be to doing stuff again.
Right.
But because I'm bootstrapping, it's all the free stuff. So of course I enjoy movies, and I enjoy heading out to see live music all over the place. But I used to do a lot of active things and travel a lot, which I want to get back to. I was on the British water ski team for 14 years. So I used to travel all over the world doing that, which is great because I've got to have those experiences while I was young. But I'd like to do that with some money so I can really go and enjoy and see what the world holds.
British water ski team, that just makes me think things are very cold. So we invite you to Austin, Texas to come water ski here. And as a great entrepreneur and a great entrepreneurial environment, we thank you for being here and sharing your knowledge and your skills with us today. Thanks so much, Guy.
I very much appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care.